All right, welcome to Relay Radio. I'm your host, Derek Dreyer. To my right is my co-host, Daniel Hong. We will be lighting the torch of knowledge to bring you exhilarating insights, expert tips, and inspiring stories.
Immerse yourself in the world of business, entrepreneurship, and life as we pass the baton of knowledge, empowering you to sprint towards greatness.
Today's guest started from the bottom, and now he's here.
Hey.
From Subway sandwich maker to making $10 million in revenue, he has changed his life forever. In 2019, he graduated from Stockton University with a bachelor's degree in computer science. After working for 2 years as a data analyst, he knew he had a greater calling in life. In late 2021, he devised a plan to create one of the biggest online supplement brands to date. And in April of 2022, Ekkovision was born. Data enthusiast, dog dad, owner of Ekkovision, he is Emtiaz Uddin. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Uddin?
Hey, let's
Yeah.
go.
How was that intro?
It was very overwhelming. I did
That's how
not.
you have so much going on in
Yeah,
your
how
life.
do you know the university name?
We have a PI that stalks people.
Yeah,
private
we hire a
investigator.
PI. They follow you around. No,
Our PI is Austin.
no, Austin actually he does really good with the intros. He does a lot of little like
Research.
background research. Usually he goes like LinkedIn or like social medias and just looks you up and stuff. So, but yeah. So the structure of our podcast, it's called Relay Radio. So we'll do a warm up intro, which is going to be. We're going to fire off like 5 questions for you to answer within 30 seconds, like a little trivia thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll go into like legs of a relay. So there's 4 legs. We'll talk about your personal life. We'll talk about social media. We'll talk about business. And then we'll talk about any retrospect, goals, that type of thing. So you ready for the trivia questions?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. What month has 28 days?
February.
When was creatine first created? I think.
I'll have to pass.
What was the first flavor of pre-workout that was created?
Probably fruit punch.
Fruit punch, is that what you said?
Yeah.
What female artist is the most Grammys of all time?
Oh gosh. I am not the candidate for this.
What's the smallest state in America?
I also don't know. Is it Hawaii?
No, it's not Hawaii. All right. You didn't get any.
So sorry.
So it's actually all the months have 28 days. That's a trick question. Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
Creatine was created in 1832. Like, I didn't even know that.
That's fucking
Awesome.
wild.
Give some hard questions on these, man.
1832. Interesting.
Orange was the first flavor of pre-workout. Beyonce has the most Grammys.
Did he ask you because you like Beyonce?
No.
Okay, I thought
He
you like
usually-
I'm trying to find out where he came up with this question.
Yeah, I don't know.
He
dude.
usually like personalizes them. I think he did the pre-workout and creatine because you're doing supplements.
Maybe he
but-
thought you liked Beyonce. I don't know.
All right, and then the smallest state is Rhode Island.
Interesting. You cannot ask an immigrant that question. I'm sorry.
Asking him,
So true, bro.
are you not a U.S. citizen yet?
I am, but
You are.
I came here, I believe, 12 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, at 15 years old, majority of my knowledge is still from Bangladesh.
Yeah.
And lots of, knowledge about America as a whole is still very much
Yeah.
Bro, I don't
did
even
you-
know that.
Did you
I
have
don't
to
even know that answer, by the
when
way,
you got your citizenship? Did you have to take an exam? Did you
So
do that?
luckily for me, I came in before I was 18. So the way it works is if your
Naturalized.
parents gets their citizenship. So my dad is one of those guys where like he wants to get it as soon as he possibly can, and ultimately I got it in when he got it.
Okay,
Nice.
so he's the one who had to go through the studying and like.
Yep.
So he might know if the smallest state is Rhode Island.
Oh, that's probably why he asked you that.
Oh, interesting.
Because you're an immigrant, and he probably thought you had to take. Okay. maybe the Beyonce question was on there. I don't know.
I don't know where the Beyonce one.
If you want a citizenship, you better know who has the most Grammys.
So you and your family migrated over here from Bangladesh when you were
Yes.
15.
Yes.
What was the reason that you guys wanted to journey over?
I don't think there's like a tangible reason usually. It's for us, I guess like from the immigrant's perspective, you look at America to have more greater opportunities, which is 100% the truth. Again, we absolutely love our countries, of course. There's like the love, of course.
Yeah, the land of opportunity for
Right, the
sure
land
is
of
America.
opportunity.
Absolutely.
It's almost given that if you try in America, you know, again the concept is you're bound to get something greater return than in Bangladesh. Um, so pretty much everybody wants to get out. It's kind of like everyone's looking for some sort of opportunity. So right now, lots of my DMs are from, let's say in Facebook usually, will be from my old friends. They're trying to ask me to help them get here somehow. I don't have the knowledge how to really do
Yeah.
that. Interesting because one of my athletes is trying to have me sponsor him from Canada to here. I don't know the knowledge. I don't know exactly what's going to be the stake. If there's going to be any potential.
There's a lot of money involved.
It's not easy too.
Yeah, I
it's
think
not
like
easy.
I think like the previous was like 250,000 in the bank account for him. So you'd have to give him 250,000, I mean, of course you can draw back, but I don't know all the specifics, but it seems like I agree with you in the sense of like land of opportunity because I don't think I know anyone or of anyone that lives in the US that is passionate about their business and takes risks that isn't successful in the long run.
Yeah.
Like there's a proven track record time and time again that if you work hard
Yep.
towards your goals as a business owner,
Yep.
even in a career like a 9 to 5, you're going to be successful
Yes.
if you take risks, right? Like a lot of people, and I think there's a lot of like truth to the whole like there's no such thing as safety. Because even if you're a corporate giant, you can be laid off tomorrow. Like it doesn't even matter if you've been an exec for Shell or Chevron or Microsoft.
You can get canceled for like a status at this point, and even
Yeah.
if you've been there for like
Yeah,
20 years.
yeah,
But what you just said is just like almost like a guaranteed in the sense where if you're passionate about a business that you're starting, it is bound to succeed.
I mean, you're living proof, man.
Yeah.
You really are, man.
I would not be able to do any of these
Yeah.
from Bangladesh for sure. That's straight up. a fact.
absolutely
I
not,
cannot
yeah.
deny. That's just
Yeah.
So when your parents came over, what did they do when they got here? What was their
So-
path?
back then I was still in Bangladesh. Well, they were here, right? So when I saw my dad like leave when I was like 4 years old, I was like, upset. I thought he didn't like us. He just wants to like get away. And I thought my dad was working in a construction. So that's what they ultimately sort of like I guess like lied in a sense. For one thing, remember he's old. So what he was doing is at the boardwalk where there's like the cart pushing.
Yeah.
So I think he did maybe like a construction for a little bit, but for some reason that was the part people were saying like if somebody asks what your dad is asking, just say he does construction. But my dad was ultimately pushing carts at the boardwalk. So what happened was I didn't know what construction was. That's a big word for me back then.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, oh, my dad is rich. He does a beautiful job, and in
This is a big
Bangladesh,
word.
yeah. So, I would like skip schools, thinking I'm just like, rich parents' son. And when I came over here, I was like, whoa, what just happened? Because, he would come in the, let's say, snowy time. So, like, like the food would be like pretty swollen. And I'm like, okay, so no more skipping school. Took the like homeworks and everything like super seriously. And everything just like
Where was the first state you guys lived in?
Rhode Island.
No, it was in
actually,
Atlanta.
Brooklyn.
Atlanta, right?
Brooklyn. So like
Brooklyn,
New
yeah,
York.
Brooklyn.
So my dad landed over there for a few days. That's where he actually did the construction for a few months. But I think like his body couldn't handle it. So what happened was he had a mutual in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and that's where we all landed essentially. So he got to work as soon as he was able to save money. He applied for everyone. Of course, my mom came first, and then everyone started slowly. My sisters and my brothers, the ones that are over 18, got their visa after like 17 years.
Wow.
So
So let's backtrack a little bit. You said you came over here when you were 15. How was your like upbringing like in Bangladesh?
how was say that one more time? Sorry.
How was your upbringing? Like how was your family life, your home life when you were
Growing up in
Yeah,
growing up?
Bangladesh.
Yes.
So over there, it was just kind of I don't think I took the education seriously at all. Kind of like what I just said. For me, I used to basically um, schools. I would skip school for like months after months.
Months?
yeah.
Holy shit.
There was
Like,
no
actually-
repercussions there, like they didn't
So
care, or
what I would do is, what I would do is I would have like a spare clothing in my book bag instead of actual books, and I would get out, take it off, and then wear like a civilian clothes so nobody would know that I'm like skipping school.
Oh, so you guys had uniforms?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So it was just like, and I would just like roam around the area the whole day, and then like at the end of the day I would just come back. So what I would do is I didn't know really how to use computer, so you'd have to have like it was like a private school, so you'd have to like like the end of the month, you have to pay it.
Yeah.
So you take the money, you have pay the school, and then they give you a receipt. So what I did was I went to like a computer shop. I was like, hey, can you create something like this so I can submit it to my older sister, who I was living with, and I would sign, and I created like my fake like a grading. Like
Yeah.
you get like in Bangla, English, you get A, B. So all this like report card they used to get. I would create those fake ones, submit it to my sister.
There's also a statistic, the best entrepreneurs were people who just didn't give a fuck about school. Like I never cared about school either, man. Like that's how I met my wife too. Like she did all my tests for me. Like I cheated off her. She would always give me the answers. Like it's just
I think there's both. I think there's both.
well, there's always going to be both, but like there's always going to be exceptions to the
Yeah,
rule. But I think statistic wise, I think it was like 70% of like those who skipped school and like were C students were actually prone to be like the most successful entrepreneurs.
You lying.
Because they were more creative in trying to not get caught. And that's where the mindset of the business comes into play. Like, how can I really just minimize my risk of not being caught?
They always say lazy people are the most efficient workers because they always figure out how the quickest way to do something is or something.
Oh yeah, but then it may not
mindset.
always be the
Yeah.
best way. Yeah. That's
So
that's funny.
when you were in Bangladesh, were you was it just you and your siblings like raising each other, and your parents were here?
Yeah, so I lived. The sister that I lived with, her husband just came in and herself. They just got their visa, and he actually works here with me. Actually,
So like, are you like the middle child?
I'm the youngest.
You have
Wow,
7?
you're the youngest.
Yes, I had nephew and niece that were older than me.
Oh, wow.
So I have. So
Holy.
this is another like a very interesting. I have like 12 siblings. We're very
Wow.
very big family.
Yeah.
So I used to live with my oldest sister, and basically, my nephew was older than me, right? So he was kind of like the guys that we used to hang out with. My sister would take care of me, and her husband also. So that's what I mean. It's like her husband is now with us, kind of just like again he came in at this older age. Where
Oh, he was at the warehouse.
Yes.
I've seen him. I've seen him. Yeah.
yes.
So is it the guy wearing the suit?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And all of your siblings are here now?
There's still some. They didn't get their visa yet.
Because one of your brothers is you helped him grow his manufacturing for the clothing, right? Okay. And then like, what's the age gap between like you and like the oldest? So how old are you now?
So I know her birthday is 71 was her birthday.
Wow, that's like
96.
almost as old as my dad. My dad was born in 65.
Yeah. So
yeah. Like what, 50 then?
That's
Around 50?
51. 70, you said 60 what?
71. So this is 70.
71, 29 plus
50,
24, so
53-ish.
53, yeah.
Yeah.
And how old are you?
27. I'll be 28.
27?
Wow, so 26-year delta.
Yep.
Damn. Hey, but your parents got busy. No, I'm just-
No, it's just like it's
Is that common in Bangladesh? Like big families like that?
not necessarily. So that's another thing. It was just kind of like one of the biggest reasons I also kind of like I used to hide or be I guess like almost shamed to tell people like I have 12 siblings.
Yeah.
Because they would make fun of us in the sense because everyone else had like 2 or 3. So I wouldn't like showcase that, tell people that many. But now on the other hand, I'm like I embrace that much more than I used to. I used to for some reason not mention that. I used to be like I would say I have 5 siblings because I was a little bit more accepting. Even then, people are like, oh my gosh, 5
yeah.
brothers and sisters. Because when we were in village in Bangladesh, everyone knew because it's like a small village. So, and we used to get just kind of like called out for the big family. So I'm like, when we moved to my sister in the city, or like the capital of Bangladesh, it was just like something I would not like tell people. So if someone were to ask, I'm like, I have 5 2 sisters, 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Something like that.
No, I think that's really cool, man. 12 is
Yeah, that's a lot.
that's
Yeah.
a lot.
That's a-
I mean,
Yeah.
really, really cool.
I mean, big families used to be pretty common, but like as everybody's aging and we're progressing, like it's becoming less common for people to have more than 1 or 2 kids now.
Yeah, like when people find out that I have 3, they're like, "Wow, 3," and I'm like, "Bro, 3 is not a lot.
No,
Like it's
not
not."
at all.
Especially if you come, yeah, exactly. I mean, all like my parents came from like 9 total siblings, both sides. So yeah, like you
It's
say, pretty
usually
common.
when you guys have that big of a family, it's usually like united for some reason. I've had people had let's say 2 brothers, and then they were trying to like kill each other over land. But then, like,
yeah,
with
that's
us,
so true.
we're so united. It's actually like crazy.
I think it's because like when you have 2, sometimes there's an age gap, and if it isn't an age gap, it's seen as rivalry. Whereas like when it's like 12 or 5 or whatever,
You're
they
trying to just
raise
have
each
each
other,
Yeah.
and it becomes a camaraderie. So you don't need friends,
Yep.
and that's where like you grow like closer and things like that. But like, like, are you really close with? Because I know you help employ a lot of your family, but like, are you really close with all of them? So it's
No.
13.
No, yeah.
Wow.
So
okay.
it was a situation where they raised us, right? So they were like, I've had like the mother figure, right? But then like other sister took care of other brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And so like they all had like the pair system. But no, definitely not like close with everyone.
Okay.
It's kind of like went through the phase, whoever we like, we didn't get to live together kind of thing. Like I said, after my dad came here, everyone just like had to go other places to just like,
Yeah.
live. But then like we all kind of like are trying to like, I think in my lifetime, there's only been one time when like everyone was in one room, all the siblings and my dad that I remember of at least.
So fast forward, you went to college, Stockton University. What is that? Ohio,
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay. Oh, Stockton, New Jersey. Duh. So then you studied, you graduated, and then you became a data analyst. So how was that? Like, obviously now you're kind of on your own in a way, right? You
Yeah.
graduated college, you found a full-time job. How did that like start to change your
So-
life?
Supplement world or owning a company was never even a concept that got to my head. It was more like just trying to get a decent job kind of was the ultimate goal for me. So obviously in high school, after seeing my dad, I was like, okay, I should take this seriously. One thing I knew that I was in ESL, and typically in ESL you have to get through 4 years, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do 4 years, then it's just like that's just a waste of my time. So what I did was I used to, do my homework in class, and I would tell the teachers, like, hey, would you be able to give me like more work to see if I can exit out earlier? So that's something somebody told me, like, hey, you can actually exit out earlier if you showcase. So I was able to exit ESL within 2 years, and then like got into the honor courses, and then graduated with like decent bit of GPA to the point where we also knew we took advantage of the FAFSA, so the low income where went to community college also to save as much as money as you can, because my dad did not make the money for me to like like, hey, can you afford for a semester? So I'm not even gonna bother asking my dad. That's just like not going to happen. So I would work in while I was in high school, Subway for 2.5 years, CVS, pizza delivery, Chinese food delivery, whatever I could, just kind of like bring the cash up. To the point where community college was like a game changer, because what was happening is I got a lot of my courses done there, and it was all covered by FAFSA.
Nice.
And on top of that, there's lots of scholarships. So basically, any scholarships that sounded like I could get in, I applied for it. Ultimately, making money from my hourly jobs, and then also the scholarships. And scholarships occasionally will be like $5,000 in a semester. I was like, that's a lot of money. Why are people applying for it?
Yeah.
So took advantage of that also. So then what I did was transfer all the credit to Stockton, got the Bachelor's of Science from there instead of getting the VA. So I transferred a little bit earlier. I didn't want my resume to have a BA. I wanted them to see like, hey, I got a BS from Stockton Uni rather than a community college. Even though community college had better courses, teachers were far better, professors were far better, the way I looked at it is like, I don't want to show that in my resume. So I transferred earlier, so my transcript shows only from Stockton. So I submitted my transcript and ultimately landed some internships. Unfortunately, some of them were just like unpaid. So I would do
Yeah.
my, CBS work to pay
Yeah.
let's say $12 an hour to pay the bills and everything, and then do my free internships to kind of like offset that. So I'm like, okay, as long as I have some cash for me to get by, I'll be good.
Yeah.
So I unfortunately didn't have a social life, but graduated pretty much on time, and then secured my data analyst job before I graduated.
Right.
So I was like, and that's something like, the thing is, me being an immigrant, it was just like, I know I'm already at a disadvantaged place. Again, I can barely speak English, barely can pronounce words. So that's like always reminding myself on a regular basis. But then I have kids that are essentially, my colleague, my other fellow students. As we were talking, like, hey, what do you plan to do? And they're like, oh, hey, I'm good. My dad has this friend. He has a huge company that I'll be, or another.
Like everybody was already set up and like, if they were taken care of, they didn't have to worry about anything.
And I was like, okay, I need to do something different.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the free internship was the answer. I'm like, I want my resume to be so good to the point where, like, again, the concept was, whenever someone's looking at the resume, they're 1 minute. You get 1 minute to like impress them. And so I was like, I would just throw all the internship, clean. It was like a very small resume, very clean, and then like got called in for interview. The good thing is, whenever I would do a project, I would lead it. So, like, what happened was, these interviews, they don't care about your CBS jobs, right? They don't care about your leadership role over there. That's not what they're done. They're not going to hire you for leadership yet.
Yeah, if it's not pertaining to the specific role, they don't care. Absolutely.
So they were like, hey, what did you do in this project? So because I was more involved than others, I was able to explain from A to Z that, hey, this is exactly what happened. These are the methods we used. And then I remember like my director that hired me, he was very impressed with like pretty much every question that he was asking about this project. He did not ask about anything else other than like, hey, what did you do on this project? What kind of software did you guys use? What kind of method did you guys use? I was like, oh, this and that. And then like he was like, okay. He actually did his like homework, not like homework for the interview.
Right.
Rather, like I actually wasn't just a guy in the group project that just took advantage of everyone else's work.
Right.
And that for me was like secure the job, and was like the first
Yeah,
success.
I agree too, because there's a lot of people that like have very big resumes, right, from experience. Age is just, correlated with it, right?
Yeah.
But not everyone can interview well, and not everyone has that charisma that can steal the job, because like that's why they always say like now they stop caring about your degrees, they stop caring about all that. Experience is kind of second, but the one thing that can steal you the job is the charisma and how you answer everything.
Yeah.
Because that's what will show you that you can do a better job than some Poindexter with 10 different things on his resume. I agree with that.
It's not only that; it's also like how you fit in with the team too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
As
culture,
an
of course,
individual.
yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot of factors.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But
I've
that's
had-
what I'm saying. It's like experience is, of course, it's
Yeah.
a plus. But like, if you can't interview well, like it doesn't even fucking matter. Like, it really doesn't.
So you guys were mentioning in kind of like there was like a laid off conversation brought up.
Yeah.
So during like COVID, what was happening is how like lots of companies were laying off people.
Yeah.
And so I've had one of those guys, for instance, one of my colleague had master's degree, right, and from Drexel, was very well known university. And then I've had another guy who I don't believe he got his degree, but he had this real world experience to actually create CNC programs. So when there was like laid off, I remember we were talking, and he was just like, "Oh, dude, don't worry, like we're good. We're in this like engineering department. I don't think they'll, because I'm naturally worried. What if I get
Yeah, absolutely.
laid
I
off?"
think it's human nature. Right?
Yeah. So it turns out he was the person that got laid off. Had the master's degree, the only one in the entire department.
Holy shit. Is it because they were overpaying him because
Not
of his?
necessarily. His work has lots of error because he didn't have the actual experience versus the other guys were, they grew up. So he was also an immigrant. So pop
He was the
culture-
Poindexter with the long resume.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
like his resumes are always, again, he was the only person in that industry, in the department with master's degree, right? Everybody else just bachelor's or no degree at all, but they're engineers because from the experience, they know how to build a column. They know exactly how to, do the CNC. It just made sense from like practicality perspective.
Yeah.
Versus he, even though with a beautiful degree and although everything else, he would make errors that would lead to bad produced product.
Yeah.
So it was just like, that's why my director also, he wanted to make sure that, hey, we don't just hire somebody that has a beautiful resume,
Yeah.
but somebody that actually did the work. And because in this case, you're talking about real world issue that could potentially, be a loss of lots
You
of
actually understand how to
Yeah.
do your job, not just
Yeah.
have a piece of paper that
Yeah,
says you can do the job.
referral system and real world experience is second to none. 100%, I agree. So you have your data analyst job, and I saw on your Instagram you talked about it. 2 years into it, you bought a house,
Yeah.
is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 years into it, you bought a house, which is awesome, by the way. So then, how did your parents feel about that?
So at that time, for me, because I'm an immigrant, I always try to look for my dad's approval kind of thing. And when I brought it up, he was obviously extremely happy, which didn't all happen with like data analyst money. It was also I was trying to always invest money into like stock market. So there was like Dogecoin was like peaking at that point.
Dogecoin, let's go.
yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, that was
I
that was a wild time.
What a
Yeah.
fucking 56 cents, bro. That was
Yeah.
crazy. Okay.
I exited at a very good time.
Yeah.
And I even made my ex-girlfriend, I think, $40,000 because like she was
Jeez.
like she had all this money on her bank. I was
Yeah.
like, could you please open a Robinhood and just buy it and please hold on to it.
Yeah.
She invested. I think her $900 ended up becoming like $40,000.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
I made a good amount of Dogecoin too. I didn't pull out all of it. I should have, but
I sold quite a bit.
Yeah.
So what happened was I was in a positive, and then I purchased my house with a lot of it from that money.
what?
But then like, what happened was few months later, everything crashed, including Tesla. And my portfolio was like 55% negative. At that point, I was trying to hold off onto, that little bit, hoping that everything goes up again. Because with Tesla, a news can,
Yeah,
take
like
it to
earnings
20%.
report or something like that. Yeah, it can just shoot it up. Yeah,
So I was just waiting for those days to finally sell, and
didn't come.
didn't come in.
You know what's crazy is like, I've realized that I'm not made for stocks, but like anytime you chase the money, you lose. But anytime you just kind of do it just to try it, you actually win.
It's
You
a long-term-
overanalyze, right? You're like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
like you get impatient.
Paranoid.
Fuck. Oh man, I think it's gonna go up. And then sometimes it's like when you're at the peak, you're like, nah, it's gonna keep going up. It's just like everybody pulls out and it's like it drops 60%.
Yeah, if you're gonna day trade, you have to know what you're doing. You're gonna have to know how to
Yeah,
read.
not even
lost
just day trade, but just even like short term, like
That's what I mean. Yeah.
like waiting for a month or something like that because it hit 40 cents. You're like, oh, it's gonna go. Like when it was at 56 cents, I was like, dude, I think $1 is creeping. Like everybody thought like that, Even that Dogecoin millionaire.
We don't. I mean, the thing is, like when we're at that small perspective, we don't think that there could be politics where other bigger
100%.
guys can really
Yes.
dictate on what direction. We don't think about it. So like there's like in Reddit was like a subreddit that we used to join. It was like for just like Robinhood and stuff.
Yeah.
Stock market. And I found out, I'm like, okay, if these guys are like dictating that much, that's when I needed to. I'm like, you know what, I need to get out because if that much politics is involved, I am not, as a little guy, we're not going to win this.
Yep.
I
Did you
think-
watch the GameStop movie?
No, I did not. But
Dumb Money.
I mean,
You know
everything.
about the GameStop?
The
GameStop.
GameStop. Yes,
when
during that time.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
that was around the same time too, with like the Reddit thing, and the guy on Reddit blew
crazy,
it up,
bro.
and it like
And that's when I decided to pull out. I'm like, I need to start something different. And that's when Echo was born.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is like, just like crypto, most stocks, even S&P are all manipulated.
Yes.
And like it's crazy because the way you say it is like exactly how like most people feel, but because it's like, oh, if some good news comes out, it's gonna pump it, but if bad news comes out, it's gonna like crash it. It's like it's so hard to play those games because your money is never like assured unless you're just putting extra money that you don't know what to do with it and just dump it in S&P or NASDAQ and just see a average growth rate of 8%. If
Yeah.
you don't care about it, okay. But if you look at it like we did, like a small potato, yeah, you're you're bound to lose a lot of money.
That's how the GameStop thing
Yeah,
ended up happening. Is like the hedge funds tried to stop it, and then the people,
The Reddit.
actually,
I was in that wave
the
too.
people actually ended up winning, and that's like one of the very few times where like. So you said around this time, when you were playing with stocks, you have your data analyst job. Is when Ekkovision was born. Like, what was the exact moment that you realized, hey, I want to start my own?
like
supplement company.
How do you even get to that?
Yeah, because you go from data analyst, stock, obviously finance type guy,
Yeah.
and then it's like let me start a supplement company. So like where's that come in? Like,
it all happened because of TikTok Live. What was happening is, I was actively working out. I was researching raw ingredients, and
all right, let's back up just a little bit. What got you into working out? Actually, like, how did that journey start for you?
it's just a breakup, unfortunately.
Breakup.
It's like this
It's either you broke up or you want to get a girl, right?
It's so crazy. I'm like, I was. Remember, I said
it's
like
never for the bros,
Yeah.
but it always only ends up having guys
With the bros.
complimenting you. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted
Hey,
to
bro,
do
you
with the
look good.
bros. I wanted to all of my bros work out and basically, get like the, get big all together and like, ultimately date beautiful girls. That was like the whole point. But then like
Yeah.
they did not. I was waiting for all to like get in and.
It's always just dudes complimenting dudes, bro. It's never like this girl's like, oh my god, his biceps are so.
So
big.
you started. Okay, so you had a breakup, and that got you into the gym.
Yeah, so it was like, so basically, I'm one of those guys where like little thing can take me off like hardcore. So remember how I said I was doing free internships and then also like CBS jobs, right? So that was like me trying to like utilize all of but had like no social life. I would go to college, finish my courses, immediately get back to work, and then something else. So this girl I was dating, one of her reasons for breaking up with me was like, I don't find you physically attractive. So I'm like, what? And like you're sitting on my car, right? I'm like, it was bizarre. It literally like shook me. I'm like, why would you be here in my car, waste all this time, and then comment that? I dropped her off at the house, never looked back, and then a week later I started going to the gym, and just like that comment kept playing back in my head like a psychopath, and literally, I started looking into ingredients. I started recommending to like my coworkers, and they were like, dude, this changed the game. I'm like, all I did was like added this one or two ingredient. It's just completely changed my experience. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he actually took my advice. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm this little kid, and this like my coworker is absolutely huge, and he took my advice. So I'm like, all right, might as well like post it on like say, it's funny because like one of my ex essentially got me on TikTok. I'm like, I don't want to be on TikTok. I think that's just like cringy. And she used to send me all this, download the video and then send it to me as like the meme videos, like funny video. So I'm like, you're just wasting my space in my phone. So might as well just download so you can just send me the link. You
What
know
a
I mean?
blessing, huh?
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm one of those guys that like, I don't want to have a social media. So like, I don't have Snapchat, for instance, if I'm not going to post it. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
So I downloaded TikTok, and literally within 2 or 3 days, I posted my first video. I only got like 200 views. And even then, 200 views as like a new account, I thought it was a lot. And second video, all of a sudden, 2,000 views. And when you see that kind of success, you want to like clutch onto it. And I started
It's
posting.
addicting. Yeah.
Yeah, like 2,000 views for me, I'm a nobody. And
Because if you think about 2,000 people, bro, 2,000
Yeah.
people don't even fit in this room.
yeah,
A lot of people, man.
Yep.
People, like the numbers are so massive on social media now. Like you don't even realize the magnitude of it. Like people think that 2,000 it's only 2,000, but like it's really
yeah.
it's a lot of eyes
2,000
on your.
people,
It's
man.
a lot of
That's
eyes
a
on
lot
your
of
on
people, but
you.
yeah.
2,000, that number, I'm like, I should not be getting 2,000 views. Why?
What was the first video you posted?
It was literally just a working out. I was like, showcasing that, front squatting like 225. I thought like that's what, people wanted to see. But then I actually started to talk after like 5 months of like posting videos. I used to post like just like the voice, like you can type in the text, and there's like the voice feature. Because I was so nervous about talking, I figured people would bully me of my accent or my, not being able to pronounce words. So I started to actually like, build up the courage to talk in my videos and start to do better engagement. People liked it. And I used to go live pretty much religiously every single day. And, having the fact that people were like asking me a question, I was like, that's just new experience for me. I'm like, why are you guys doing this? So they kept asking me about, what pre-workout to take. So I'm like, all right, I'll just make a video about it. Just leave a comment on one of my video. I'll reply to that comment, and I'll see if I like that video product. So going on, reviewing the products, and I was like, I would just give my honest feedback. and people really respected that.
This was in early 2022.
Yeah, yeah. So I was just like, okay, I don't like this formula. I think this could have been way cheaper. However, I would recommend instead of taking this, buy this. And ultimately, I got this code. I'm like, dude, I really like this formula from this one brand. And because people were like, hey, was tagging the owner, was like, dude, give M a code. So he gave me the code ENTTY8. That's why, that was my username. I didn't even know how, code worked. So all of a sudden, people are, sending me all the screenshots of them purchasing with my code. I'm like, what? I did not expect at all. The fact that I saw this conversion rate, when you see a little bit of success, you want to go dive into it. It's just like, I get a little bit addicted. So for me, I'm like, unfortunately, I had a little fall off with the owner. I questioned one of his ingredient. I'm like, I don't like this ingredient. It's a banned ingredient. Why would you use it? And
1,3? 1,3 dimethylamine?
No, it wasn't that one. It's like an isoprop norepinephrine.
What would you mind saying what company it was?
It's like at this point everyone knows, but I'd rather we had a little bit of issue.
That's fine.
So basically, what happened was they tried to make it seem like, oh, it's a legal ingredient, but so for me, what happened was he had this they tried to kind of make it seem like I was in the wrong. So I sent them screenshot of this all the documents that it's not approved at all. What are you talking about? So then I was like, hey man, I'm like, my video, for some reason TikTok isn't letting me post. I'll post an apology video. That never happened. So I'm like, I just kind of backed off. Nothing happened. So I got a code with another brand, and I saw a huge conversion rate with that brand also. So the fact that I saw all these guys trust me, and the fact that I was able to convert all those sales was like, holy crap, I might have something. And during that time, I was like, okay, you know what? I have some money over there. Unfortunately, my stock was, like I said, 55% negative of entire portfolio. I didn't want to sell the entire thing. I was still hoping to, one of those days, good news comes in, and I go into, instead of losing money, maybe just, break even. So I was trying to get on a call with a partner. I'm like, what if I get another partner in? And I posted on Insta. I was like, hey, I want to start a pre-workout company. It was, the first video I posted. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I want to do it. And then somebody slid up. I was like, dude, let's talk in the gym. And we were talking in the gym about the whole process. And then he was supposed to give me a call. And my thought process is I'm just going to ask him for 5K. I was so motivated that I'll just do all the work. All you got to do is lend me 5K so I don't break my, my stock money. And that call never happened. So I was I had to work in the morning. I was up until freaking 1 o'clock. The call never came.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so
sucks for him.
Yeah.
Right?
I got a text back after a year. I was like, dude, I should have taken that offer when you offered.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I dodged a bullet, of course.
He's probably he's ghost watching now.
No, yeah.
Again, another blessing, right?
You're like a accidental influencer in a sense, right?
That's the thing. I'm
stumbled into it.
I'm 5'5" and 145, 155 pound. This back then, and why would anybody buy a supplement from me? You know what I mean? I'm this short, almost to me it was just bizarre. Why are people even hyping me up? I thought they were just lying that they're not going to actually buy products. So I'm like, yes, I can risk all my money, but I don't think you're telling me the truth. I don't think you're actually gonna buy it. But then all of a sudden, everyone's just the videos and everyone's joining in. I have my first kind of influencer kind of join, reaching out to me. It's dude, I love everything you're doing. I want to help the brand. And of course, so he became one of my first.
Who's your first influencer?
It's it's a guy named Chase. He's no longer with Echo, unfortunately.
Okay.
So he was one of the first guy to actually have I think 15-something thousand followers, and to me the fact that he reached out to me was very nice.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. So obviously we set up with the code. So my thought process is how can I pay these guys as much as I possibly can to pay the respect back. That's why the signature product idea came in. I was like, hey, what if I make a signature product for these guys, put them on a royalty program? And the thought process is, if it's their product, they can sell way more, they make more commission, they get royalty on top, salary on top, and it will be a whole sum of money at the end of the month. I feel good about it also. So for some reason, everyone's tagging our products to everyone. So Joel, who was my top seller for a very, very long time, people were tagging me like, dude, you gotta try Emtiaz pre-workout. You gotta try Emtiaz pre-workout. He was just blowing up on his tags, and he was like, hey man, can you give me a call? He gave me his number, and then, my hand was almost shaking. I'm like, this dude has 200K followers on TikTok, and
When was
we're
this?
talking.
2022?
It was like after my first launch. My
Okay.
first launch was like April 15th. The second was like, I believe, May something. So what I did was, in supplement, all you have to do is 50% down, right? And then you get the product. Within 30 days, you have to pay another 50%. So the thought process is like, hey, what if I do remember, I don't have a partner at this point, right? And I'm trying to I broke my 401k, my safety money, stock money. Even then, it was almost like not enough, but I had like a little bit of credit that I was able to utilize also. So like basically paid this much, and then he was like, hey, could you use credit card to fund the other one? And I ran a pre-sale. I was like, hey guys, so I launched it on April 15th. I ended up delivering in like May 25 something. It was like a month later.
Still not that bad.
Yeah, but it's like the fact that people trusted me with their
Yes,
money.
that's hard, especially for
pre-order,
a
yeah.
new brand. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
With Shopify, they weren't like releasing my money because they wanted
Yeah.
to see physical inventory proof.
Yeah.
And I finally somehow got some cash out, paid my manufacturer, and I still have some leftover money. And I was adding more money onto that business account. And ultimately, what happened was, so Joel joined after the first launch. The
Okay.
first launch sold out in like 6 days, 1,000 unit.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, so it's like, at that time, it's like had no idea if the concept was real or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So Joel joined after that. So I sent him a tub. He tried the pre-workout on like 3 occasions. He was like, dude, he was with Bucked Up at that point. And I was telling him, I'm like, dude, don't leave Bucked Up. You have a sponsorship. I'm assuming you're on salary. Do not leave for Echo because I have no idea what's happening. If I'm able to make this a company or if it's a project. Because my thought process was like, I'm going to make 5K. Do you know what I mean? 5K a month, something like that. Maybe add on top of my salary and I'm good,
Yeah, it's like a side gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't do anything. As but then I find out from a video that he leaves Bucked Up for Echo. I'm like, what? I just told you not to leave.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I
he
mean?
didn't even tell you. He's just like, I'm just gonna leave because I believe in this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I saw the video. I found out from a text. I was like, dude, did you see Joel's video? He just left Bucked Up. I'm like, what do you mean? And then that was absolutely huge. Now I have this pressure from this big influencer, being part of my Echo. Now I have to like really take it seriously. So we ended up ordering like, remember at this point we just shipped out our products. We just got the feedback, and we're already working on the second version. The 2.1 is where I was calling it Formula 2.1, and we ordered 2.5K unit. So whatever money we had to do like 50% down, I was like, give me every single unit I can afford with this money. So it ended up becoming 2.5K. So we did a pre-sales again. It sold out in an hour and 52 minutes, 155K revenue in 2 hours.
Damn.
Wow. On your second launch.
Yes.
And when was that? In July?
It was like a June. I think it was like on my birthday.
Wow.
Then
So
that's
insane.
So
And it's all
2
through
months.
TikTok, right?
Through TikTok.
Power of social media is crazy. So 2 months of starting the business or launching the business, you're already doing like 200,000 in revenue in 2 months.
Total.
And how many followers did you have at that time?
Like 13K.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So at the core, because there's a reason why people liked it, right? At the core of Echo, what was that? Like, is it just because you're very transparent with your ingredients?
I was literally, not only just ingredient, I was showing them my code. So like, hey, this is the code I got from my manufacturer. This product cost me $25, and I'm selling it to you guys at $50. Remember, and I was adding, you have to understand from a business perspective, I'm talking to kids, right? So I was talking to them in that manner. Look, I understand you guys are young. 25 at a base cost for ingredients. You have to add another $1 or
very
so for the
high,
overhead
yeah.
cost. You have to add some Shopify cost, and I want to pay my influencers because they're getting my words out. Free marketing is what I used to like joke around. That's like free marketing for me, and I still want to pay them. So I'm like, I want to pay them at least $5 a tub that they bring me sales, and they're like, yeah, 100%. And they justify the price very, very easily. I'm selling it for $50. That cost me $25 added raw ingredients, and then people genuinely, and again, the feedbacks that they were getting was fantastic. They're like, dude, this is the best pre-workout ever. Some people were calling it like better than Gorilla Mind. Again, not me, audience.
It's okay if you say that too. This is
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
product. You know,
I
you
mean,
are
I don't
biased.
ever want to say that my
No,
product
I
is-
think that's why I was thinking to myself. I think that's why your brand is also very successful. Is like you've gotten to this point not caring about the competition. You care about the actual formulation of the product, but you're never Because when you create your own brand, it's because you're improving what's already out there, right? So of course you're going to say your product is better than these brands because you took their kind of like conceptualization and you made it your own. But you still don't say that.
Yeah, I don't
Because
want
everything
to.
is-
I don't like
But I
comparing my
think that's
feed to
what
others.
people love
Yeah.
so much on social media is like
It's the transparency.
you guys are the exception. That's why there's exception to every rule is that you guys don't have the biggest social media following. You don't have the biggest influencers in the current space right now, but you're doing insane numbers. So that's why like in social media, I think you understand that very well, especially as a data analyst, is like high numbers of following does not necessarily equate or is not necessarily correlated with the conversion rate.
My goal is the conversion rate to the highest. That's why I go live so much. I'm like, even if I have 5,000. So when I invested all my money, I had 6,000 followers. So leading up to all the videos, it went up to 13,000. So I gained 6,000-ish followers, 7,000 on that. So for me, like conversion rate is what I was.
I mean
paying
that yeah,
attention to
data
rather
analyst at your
than-
core, absolutely, man.
Yeah, it just like I don't like comparing my because like again you look at Derek, like arguably one of the most smartest guy ever.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm not going to
He's
come in and be
huge,
like, hey, I'm
yeah.
smarter than him. Like no,
Yeah.
I'm absolutely not.
And you guys are smart in different ways too. Like he's
It's-
built a multi-9-figure business
Yes.
with Gorilla Mind, and you have built a multi-8-figure business in a less than 2-year time frame. I mean, that's very impressive.
It's like it creates this issue where like I'm live, so some people are like, hey, is your pre-workout better than this? Tell me how your pre-workout is better than this. I'm like, why would you like? I think that's whenever somebody asks me like, is your better than this? I'm like, no, that's better. Every time, like my response is, no, that's better. You should buy that one.
So you're never complacent.
No, it's not worth it. It's just like if you're coming to interrogate me, I see it as an interrogation. Like I understand like the typical advertisement is just like, look, my product is better, this product is bad, and then they'll like try to like blur it and like, you can see the clear label and like that's just
Yeah, you can literally see the silhouette of the label.
I was gonna say like if you've ever seen like Samsung commercials and stuff, they always like comparing themselves to Apple or something.
Yeah.
But if you see an Apple commercial, Apple never compares themselves to other
I-
brands or like says that we're better than the competition.
it's just a bad mentality.
Yeah,
I
agree.
We had 1.0, right, the 1,000 unit, and the 2.1 was supposed to be far greater than this. I'm like, I'm gonna make a better formula that makes this one look embarrassing.
Yeah.
And that's the process. And then we released 3.0, then the 4.0, and my entire right now we're working on like Dethrone. So before I came here, I was sampling that, and this blows away from the other one. I'm trying to just like make my old self from last year like
Just your internal better self than
Right.
the previous, but not
Yeah,
companies.
you're not.
better than-
Yeah, like you shouldn't be shitting on your competition. You're shitting on your old product. And
Yeah.
you're showing how you're improving your brand.
Yep. My
Not that,
competition is ultimately like myself. Like if
Right.
you think about it, like your worst enemy is most likely yourself because
Correct.
you're just like on a constant battle. Like you're driving in a stressful environment, but then like you're probably like just like trying to convince yourself. It's kind of like whenever I graduated, I'm like I went in, I took my certificate and I left like immediately. I'm like so I'm trying to like almost like this like big figure which is me myself, and then the little guy is also myself. So I'm like, that guy's trying to like compete me, like, look, I got my degree. Like, are you proud of me? I'm like, no. What do you want? A cookie or something? That's like,
Yeah.
inevitable. You went
On
to
to the
school
next.
for 5 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
You're going to graduate.
Yeah.
And I'm
never
just like,
satisfied. Do you see yourself? You're never satisfied. You always want to be better.
dude, I got denied for like Honda Accord, BMW 3 Series, because my credit wasn't mature. And now I got, I still have yet to touch my Lambo, and I can't get excited about it. And I got into a call with like Vitamin Shop, and which could potentially be like a multi-million-dollar deal. And I'm looking at it, I just want to like get out of the conversation. I'm like, you're wasting my time on this call. If you're not talking about like tens of millions of dollars, I can't for some reason get excited. I swear to God, I cannot get excited. And it's like I have a Lambo on my way and I can't get excited about it. I was more excited to touch my M2.
I think that's why we enjoy working with people like you so much, is because like we think the same too. Like a year ago we were in a space that like in terms of our business was like we wish we were here where we are today, and now we are here today. We're just like, oh, this is nothing. Like we don't get excited either. Even though we get excited when we work with new brands and things like that, right? Because those are new partnerships that you're developing.
Yeah.
But in terms of like just the growth of the business, like you're never going to be satisfied. And I think that's also what makes a successful business owner or an entrepreneur because they're never complacent. They always want to continue seeing what's out there to improve their business or
Well, you
growing.
ultimately have your vision, right? You know where you want to be.
Yeah.
So you appreciate the now, right? You appreciate
I
all
do,
your
yes,
accomplishments
yeah.
now. You
Yes.
appreciate where you've
100%.
come. But like Daniel said, you're not complacent and you know the ultimate vision of what you can be. So like you said, when you're talking to like these vitamin shops, that's you in your mind know this isn't a part of the vision that I want to do right now. Like, so you're like, I see, I understand that, and we're in the same boat as well.
This is like Athletes, the slogan, proud but never satisfied, I believe, right? I think that is such a like proud, like that's such a like good slogan. And like the proud but never satisfied. I'm like, of course, proud. My parents are. I'm like the best place I could ever be. But for me, I'm just like the way I look at it is like it's also kind of like I hope it doesn't sound like super egotistical. So I have a lot of athletes, and of course, right. And now I'm like, I know I'm gonna get to the $100 million valuation. I'm gonna get there with or without your help, right? And so you can decide whether you want to like get into this journey with me. It's typically what I'll like tell myself with like a lot of athletes because I'm such a like athlete heavy. It can be difficult to work with a lot of athletes.
Absolutely.
sometimes.
Yeah. And that's why you see a lot of big brands that like in the beginning phases, they're excited, right? They're trying to sign as many people as possible. Like it doesn't matter who is what as long as they have a decent following or can convert.
Yeah.
And then as you get to a certain level, they start to trim the fat of like, okay, I only want these 10 people to be in my circle for my business because that's all I care about.
Yep.
Because those are the people that believe in my vision rather than here just promoting my products to make money. You're in a different mindset now, which is great because, I mean, all of this has happened in less than 2 years, which is fucking wild, by the way. It's an anomaly, just to be honest. Like, we've seen it. Like, Derek and I have been in this space for a long time, and we've seen it with a lot of our friends and a lot of the people that we know. And you are literally on the same track, but I think at a higher revenue in a very shorter amount of time. It's crazy. Like, it is like once we've seen your success, like even the first time we met until now, I mean, you're in a space that's 3 times the size in
Yeah,
a matter
I
of
mean-
months that we've met you.
Yeah, I've lived it, like personally
Yes.
lived it with Alfie, and I think what's different for you is, like you said, that you're very heavily athlete based and like doing the royalties things, and like I can just tell that you are very much like taking care of your people, which is ultimately in the long run, like that is going to be the success of your business.
That's still like the goal. Like my objective is for the guys that helped us in a sense where like we want to all go together. It's like it's kind of like what I was saying when I wanted to work out. I was waiting for my other 2 friends, my best friend at the time, to also start working out. Our process is we all go together. In this case, again, like these guys, like if you guys come to the journey and if you genuinely believe in this, then like put your trust in me like a little bit. I promise. Like, and that's why they moved from like their state to here. And I promise every decision I make I'll be considering with you guys every step of the way. So just like energy drink, completely different LLC.
I see that very much. Like every single time we have a meeting,
Yeah.
you're always involving your athletes. Hey, what do you think of this? Do you like this? Would you wear this? Like, there's not a lot of people that do that. Like when people have companies, yes, they see them as the fit models or things like that, but you're truly asking them what they think about it because ultimately they're the ones who are promoting it.
I was going to ask, what do you think what do you think that like leadership style or like your empathy towards your people, where do you think that stems from?
It's I think the gratefulness in general, right? It's like I can't deny the fact that they are the reason why everything succeeded, and at the same time, I also want to give myself credit. It's just like for me, it's kind of like the fairness. Like you want to be fair to everyone, because like we always complain about the world being unfair, but then like now I have a little opportunity to actually be fair for myself to others. Then like straight up the literal definition of hypocrisy at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me complaining to the world, oh, like world is not being fair to me.
Yeah.
But then like as soon as I'm able to have that control somewhat of it, I'm being unfair.
Yeah.
No, but the thing was me was like I got lucky with like some really really amazing people. Unfortunately, also unlucky with some previous guys that did not because like they caused like quite a bit stress more than they realize. Because like those they are like the reason why I'll typically probably like lose my sleep, not necessarily my business. Like a lot of times, like I know for a fact what kind of product I release, what kind of product like my supplements and everything is like we have always like I'm taking like a smaller and smaller margin every launch almost. You know what I mean? But then
But
like
higher volume.
yeah, but at a higher volume and it's like working. So I'm not worried about the business. A lot of times what will happen is we'll fall off with an athlete and they'll go into this like mode of where like they just want to, destroy my reputation or my brand. It's like they becomes their whole
They're
character.
vendetta almost. Yeah.
Yeah, and it becomes that's what stresses me out a lot. I'm like, dude, like I've tried my best to like pay the respect that you guys did. It's like one of the first athlete that I mentioned. I gave him a signature pre-workout where his sales were nowhere near, like where he should be getting a signature product. So we kept like Joel, who was my top seller, Baxter, my top seller, to give this kid. Because like he's we used to like listen to like kind of like their family situation. So I'm like, hey, if I can introduce this, I can pay more salary. Again, I need to justify at this point. I can't just like hand over some cash to somebody. They need to
Yeah,
like
it's
earn
got to
it.
make sense on both
Yeah.
both parties.
You still have to
Absolutely.
make a business decision at the
Yeah,
end of the day.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was like my way of like helping financially and also like giving them a platform. But then like let's say what I'm noticing like the thought process is like when you see that kind of success, you want more of it. You get more involved. But what's happening is they get a little relaxed in a sense where like we're not at a point to settle.
Absolutely.
We're nowhere near ready to be settling. What are you talking about? Like we're nowhere near to like come in and like put our feet out on the like no, that's not gonna like. There's a reason why we still ship out every single day. We're making sure everything's like I come to warehouse religiously every single day, making sure all the all of it we're just nowhere near. So I have like a couple of the other guys that actually understands that they're still grinding every single day, pushing out products, and we're all trying to work together. But then there's few others that has this mentality of just like, oh, I'm secure, I'm good to go. So it was just like when you
Trim
have
the
that
fat.
mentality.
You got to trim the
Complacent,
fat per se, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so with social media, you are 100% on TikTok.
Yes.
So that's where all your sales are kind of driven from. Like, are there any plans for you in the future to deviate or add to that? Or do you like,
I'm actually doubling down on TikTok.
oh,
if I'm being
wow,
honest.
beautiful, nice.
You know how I was talking about like Vitamin Shop. So we also got like few other chain that like have been reaching out to me. So like I'm actually going to use Austin tomorrow for a few days. Also like to just have more conversation with some more areas. As Echo just gained this popularity, people are trying to get involved or whatnot. I do want to hear them out, of course. Out of respect
Because it could change your life. I mean, that's
Right.
that's ultimately what, that's what scaled every single energy drink company to 9 figures.
Yes.
100%.
I know for a fact energy drink will be if there's any chance for Echo to be a 9-figure network, it will be 100% true energy drink.
Yeah.
And because
Especially because the ones we tasted were fucking
I'm
good.
excited for that. Yeah.
I forgot to get them unfortunately, but we do have like some reserve for you guys.
Oh, shit.
You got some
Thank
new.
you,
got
man.
some new samples.
Yeah, we approved 4 flavors. Back then it
Like
was just
final.
like 1.
Final. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna get revised just because we're decreasing the carbonation a little bit. But everything else is like pretty much set.
Do you want to say the flavors, or is it?
Yeah,
you're
so it's
waiting?
like blue raz is it's like a staple. Strawberry and cream, which one you guys tried? Orange cream. It was like one like the guys absolutely loved, and then strawberry and lemonade.
Oh.
That one is
The strawberry cream one was, dude.
Yeah, strawberries and cream
that's
was
that's
fire.
unique to the
Yeah.
market. That's something that's not even out there. So I think you're gonna kill it with that one.
So as you say you're doubling down on TikTok, are there any plans? Like you're saying you're doubling down TikTok, you're not focused on anyone else. What about like, let's just say you were to have this discussion with GNC and GNC is like, hey, Echo, we're not looking at multi 7 figures. We're looking at multi 8 figures. This is a $25 to $50 million deal in the next 2 years. What would that scope look like for you? Would that change the social media kind of side to it, like, or how?
I
would
wouldn't take it.
Good.
I wouldn't take
Nice.
the deal. I've already said no for the supplements and everything. And
Wow.
here's why. So for one thing, we don't have the margin. Second, we are on this like trend, right? What happens with a lot of these wholesalers, unfortunately, they're obviously they're running their business, they'll do a trial run, and as soon as it doesn't clear out in the time that they want it to, they will slash the price significantly just to get
Oh,
rid of it
wow.
because they're trying to get a new brand. So like, okay, we tried it with this guy, it did not work out. We're gonna move, and makes sense, logical. But I'm not in a physically rich enough to take those kind of hits myself because ultimately when they make it 50% off, you are the one that taking that hit. Now, if they come in and are like, hey, I'm going to buy, let's say, $2 million worth of products and I'm going to pay upfront cash at this margin, then yes, 100%. But new brand, they don't want to do that. So I just don't have the money
Yeah.
to risk it like that. Right now, I would if I have a couple $1 million, I would start another something else. So this energy drink is that we're launching. It's a little bit more than $500,000 project to get started. By the end of the year, we expect to spend around $3 million. I know for a fact I have this huge cult followers, like community, and of course the athletes. And the longer I hold on to it, the more. So like I've had like this one offer that tried to like buy me off for like 5 million at like a very early stage, and then another one was like at a 12 million valuation. It was like the valuation was like just they're trying to get involved. Manufacturers trying to buy portion of Echo, and I'm just like I have nothing else other than Echo. While it stresses me out so much, I have nothing else.
Yeah.
This is really cool because this goes well beyond money for you. And I think that that's a very prime example because a lot of people would have probably just said yes to the 12 million or whatever and just exited and started a whole nother thing. But I love what you're doing is like, fuck the money because it'll come anyways. And it obviously has. And it's paying off exponential. So,
And you're also only 2 years in, so like you
Which is
still,
fucking
like
crazy.
you've
Yeah,
got
yeah,
a long
yeah.
ways to go. You're not done yet.
See, since the 12 million valuation, we made another 8 mil since that offer.
Right.
Since that, and I'm just like, I have no idea what's happening. And then like right now we have this potential to become this like pioneer brand for TikTok Shop. We have no idea if TikTok Shop already apparently crossed 10 billion in consumer spending, which is absolutely insane. Again, the reason why I say I was doubling down on TikTok Shop, we started to send pretty much all of our products to FBTs. They're offering free 3PL, which again, you guys know how big that is.
It's insane.
yeah, because we were looking to
insane.
work together, but then it, no
we
one
can't
can
compete with free.
yeah.
So we're sending out literally 80% of our inventory of the energy drink to TikTok Shop. That's how
Wow.
we're going to do
And
that.
they're going to be
insane.
fulfilling that for free.
Yes.
That's fucking wild.
That's amazing, dude.
Case by case, they'll do like, wow.
But yeah, but the energy drink you do want to go retail because obviously
I'm thinking about
I
it.
said
That's-
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
If the
It's still a
deal
maybe.
struck
it's
itself.
like if you can get into like gas stations, HEBs, things like that, that's how you really scale it.
I think if I can hold on to and prove the concept of D2C on energy drink for let's say 6 months, I promise they will get desperate.
So if you can do that, you will dominate the space just because I don't think a lot of people have a deal like you do with social media because it's expensive to ship a 12, 16 ounce
So
can.
yeah, if you can ship that for
case,
free, you can actually sell it for retail prices.
basically. I mean, TikTok Shop is slashing his prices,
Right.
but he still gets the full amount that he's charging, and it's free fulfillment for single pack.
What
So
I'm-
that's wild. Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
game
going to
changing.
do is I'm not gonna get margin hungry because what's gonna happen is I'm
can't,
ordering
yeah.
600,000 units, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be 50K cases. So I need to get 50,000 orders. Is what I'm in my head. What I'm going to do is, and I hope this goes live before I get launched because my competition. I was talking to this one
Let's
guy.
go live on Monday.
When are you launching?
We're still like a month ahead.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this
I
will
was
launch.
listening to this
Monday?
guy.
Was it Monday?
This one go live Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Monday.
I was talking to this guy who is like very good friends with one of my competition. So the reason why energy drink exists, by the way, is because one of my competition tried to get one of my athlete. They came in kind of like a consistent basis, try to like they're like, hey, because we didn't have energy drink.
Right,
The thought
right.
process is like, hey, would you be interested in their energy drink, and also like they tried it with their athlete first, and then the CEO has been like on his DM like crazy.
I think I
And
know
he
who you're
showed me
talking
the-
about. Yeah.
He showed me the DM, so I'm like, within a week, I started the entire project. Again, I was not going to touch this at all. This is actually one of the reason why. You know how I said like I get ticked off like with little comments.
I mean, that's a big deal, though.
No, yeah, it's
Yeah.
He's fucking with your livelihood, and when someone fucks with your livelihood, that's not small.
So it's interesting because he didn't let one of his athlete collaborate with my athlete for clothing. Mind you, this is a supplement brand, right? So they wanted to do a collaboration video, kind of like promoting our beaters. In the same video, they didn't allow it. But then like the hypocrisy was like, but then like, hey, I want your guy for my energy drink because Ekko doesn't have energy drink. He was like one of the reasons actually I also like pulled the trigger on Ekko very hardcore because I was promoting. Like I said, when I said I had a code with another brand, I was promoting it, and what was happening is some of the audience were being from their brand. So they're like now harassing them on their comment section, like, hey, Anti said your this brand is better, or get this. So if someone's like, hey, should I buy this? They're like, no, Anti said this, like you should buy this. So it was getting to his head. So he would come to my live, and it was like, to me, the first time I saw him on my live, I was like, holy shit, this CEO from this huge brand on my live, and I was just like excited. And then he was like, one scoop of like basically half of their servings of their pre is far greater than like other formula. So that egotistical comment, I'm like, whoa, I take your challenge. But then like he just left, leaving me hanging, right? Comes back on my live, stays for like an hour, not saying anything, and then people are like harassing him. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna start my own project. And so one of the reason the reason why
He's one of the driving forces. I think, to be very honest, because like Derek and I are pretty harsh critics with like food and like drinks. I think we have a very specific palate. Like there's not a lot of good energy drinks on the market. We're probably saying brands here, but like the only really good one, and there's only a few flavors of these each, is like for me, it's like Ghost and like Alani.
Yep.
And 3D had some pretty good flavors.
3D has some good flavors.
Yes,
yeah.
they do. But like,
I love their citrus. I don't know why people. I think
The
no,
yellow
it's
one.
good.
The Mountain Dew one?
Yes.
like
The
Mountain
green
Dew
one,
one.
the highlighter green,
yep.
that was
Yeah.
great. That was amazing. It tastes like Mountain Dew.
I don't know why people like that. Genuinely shocked me, and I drink it all the time because I work out at Alpha Land.
So good.
And I'm like,
yes.
why do people not like this brand? And like it should have been. I think 3D should have blown up because I think that design is so clean.
There probably are other factors that are associated with that, but
There are other
There-
factors.
I just don't know like enough.
yeah,
to know.
yeah,
That's the
yeah.
thing,
But
my
like
knowledge.
the energy drink market is so starting in terms of the fitness brand side, like are starting to be so saturated. Like everyone's just pumping out energy drinks like as fast as they can. But like, I mean, Gorilla Mind sucks. Rye sucks.
I think Gorilla also tasted pretty decent.
The
One of their
aftertaste,
flavor.
the
don't think
aftertaste was really bad.
Oh, was that the lychee one?
bomb? We had the lychee bomb. One of their most popular flavors was terrible. We bought a case from a supplement company, but it's just
I'm diehard Alani.
Alani's phenomenal. Like a few flavors are actually
And
like
Bum. Bum is actually good too.
yeah, Bum is
Yeah.
really good. I do
Agreed,
like
agreed,
it.
agreed.
But like that's it, man. Like that really is the entire market for us. Like, of course you have Monster, White Monsters, goated.
Yep,
all day
100%,
long.
100%.
All their 0-calorie drinks. But like when I take like, not even being biased, but when I had your strawberries and cream, because like strawberries my favorite fruit, I was like, holy shit, no aftertaste, little bit syrupy, but y'all fixed that.
Yep.
Carbonation was pretty good in my opinion. I like heavily carbonated anyways, but I can go for lighter. But other than that, man, like I really think you have some of the best flavor that I've tried.
So the
a
reason
lot
why
of
they
energy
wanted to
drink
get the athletes because these guys are known for their taste. So if they validate a flavor, people are like you very much trust them. So they're very hard critique on flavors.
Yeah.
And they just happen to be with Ekko.
Like your creatine that's your viral product. Your creatine is, you gave us a strawberry watermelon.
Yeah.
I like it so much I took it home. That shit is
you
amazing.
tried
I
it?
have
None
so
of us
much. You
tried it.
guys can any supplements you guys want, literally just at some point
I
stop by.
appreciate
Like
that,
we
yeah.
have so much, and like I.
That's not who we
Austin
are.
he actually bought it.
No,
Austin
It,
bought
it was,
yeah.
it was it's so good, man. Like the strawberry watermelon.
Don't buy. Like I'm
was-
serious. Like come in
yeah.
at one point, just like care, like whatever you guys need, just like grab it.
We appreciate that. We really do.
It's hard for us to do that. That's
Yeah, we
just
don't
the
like-
type of-
I'm thankful. I'm thankful in the sense, again, so you remember how I said Joel, I sent him a tub? During that time, I didn't want to send a tub because like, damn, it's like $50 over there. It's my first lunch. And that was like one of the best investment, of course. But then like back then I was like, more, but now it's just like, dude, I have like, we're getting like 2,000 orders every single day.
Yeah.
We have like shipment of like a truck full, like a full semi every single week coming in.
That
It's
is
not like,
really crazy, man.
That's
It,
crazy, dude.
Just to reflect on 2 years ago, and this is the American dream. It
Yeah.
really is. Like just to reflect upon 2 years ago, like you were a data analyst. You were earning a set income.
Yep.
You took your life saving out, literally every single penny.
Yeah.
You went into this business, and so the first time we met, you had. I mean, it's crazy for you to listen, right?
Yeah.
It is
to
so
hear it.
crazy. I'm just thinking to some of the days.
So for the business perspective, okay, so social media, you're all TikTok, great. Business perspective, the first time we spoke, you were like, we took out a $400,000 loan.
Yeah.
Like, how did you come up with the mindset that you're like, I'm gonna take out $400,000, and I know this is gonna work? Like, how did you feel when you did that?
So, like again, I use the word inevitable very very much. I'm like I know my finance. Like I'm just checking my bank on a regular basis, right? So what's happening with me is like I know there's like Black Friday is just absolutely crazy. I just don't know how much to predict, right? I don't want to go too much into it. But at the same time, I don't want to not have inventory and like be out of it because like, oh, we just ran out of inventory and we couldn't take advantage of the greatest month that America is known for. So I'm like, I know for a fact I had to, with my brother, what happens is I have to pay 100% upfront because like, again, trying to help him build everything over there.
Yeah.
And so he needs the 100% cash on a regular basis, and he delivers as soon as he can. But then we also have like inventory on stock in terms of custom for like month and a half. We're still trying to fix it. It's still obviously a little bit of issue, but I know for a fact I cannot let him like stop production. So I need cash to fund my let's say other POs or this PO. Now I have like two LLCs to kind of like survive or push together. And with clothing, the lead time is far greater than my supplement because my supplement I can get it within like a week.
Yeah, it's all US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like everything's like all done. I got to such a good relationship with my manufacturer. It's like it got so bad where like my owing money to them was like over $1 million all of a sudden. It's like me up until then I was just like paying everything up front, and if anything I was advanced, right? I was paying everything up front. But TikTok was holding the money quite a bit. I was seeing like they were not gonna release the money for like another month. So I'm like, I need some sort of liquid cash for me to fund the other POs. So it was just like I knew for a fact that as soon as that comes in, I'm just gonna utilize it for business purpose. And I know I can see my sales just all of a sudden go from like 15K to 30K to like 100 and like I've had days where like 170K days, 200K days for like no reason. It was like a regular day, and like this is what I mean. I'm like I'm talking to like vitamin shop that day, and they're talking about like 300, 400 stores to like do a trial run. I'm like, are you serious? Like you just wasted my 30 minute. I'm like, you're worried about like proving a concept, and I understand. She's trying to be safe. I'm like,
Yeah.
all I did for the last 2 years is like prove my concept.
Yeah.
Okay, so please like don't like let's just and I immediately at the end of the meeting I'm like, hey, just like letting you know like energy supplements is probably a no, but like energy drink is something we can kind of consider, and that's how I left the conversation. I couldn't get excited because like she said 300 stores. That's a lot. That's a very decent bit of a trial run. I'm like nope. All I did was for 2 years prove my concept.
Plus, your concept is direct to consumer anyway, so it's it may not translate the same retail.
I would also lose quite a bit in terms of like all these athletes know we're direct to consumer only, so they're making like 30,000-40,000 a month. So like again, these are guys. Let's say, like I have a dude that basically used to make maybe like a couple $100 in commission from me and was not on a salary. To him, like averaging 30-40K in the last couple months. Like he works for Ekko in the warehouse and also like everything else. So his like take home for like was well over 40K for 2 months and then 30K for 1 of the months in the last 3 months. So it's just like
You have a lot of mouths to feed. I think
yeah.
I mean, just looking at this perspective, like it would never make sense for you to go retail just because you would be taking money from them.
Yep.
And
I texted them first thing. I was like, hey, I have a meeting with Vitamin Shop, but I want you guys to know this. I will not pull the trigger unless you guys give me the right to like go for it. I swear to God, like as soon as I got the email invitation, I texted them immediately. I was like, hey, this is what's happening. Initially, I declined because it was like a junior buyer. I'm like, I don't want to talk to a junior buyer. Yeah. So then the senior buyer like emailed me, and I immediately sent it to my group chat with all the athletes, and they were all like, dude, you've done plenty for us. Like, we want Ekko to succeed. If
Wow.
this is gonna like end up, we are all in.
You built
Never-
a family, man.
Never change that mindset though.
No, yeah, that's
never
the
change
plan.
that, yeah.
That's why I'm like I'm so easy to like walk out of that because like, first of all, this would have been much greater sacrifice from me than they realize. I have all these guys that were relying on me, and again, a lot of these guys like see me as an older brother or whatever it is that they see me as. They've left their houses from other state to here. Now they're like looking to purchase house wherever Ekko ends up stabilizing. So I'm like, every decision I make has to be incorporating. And the thought process is like, hey, if we actually do make it that much money, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase your salary so much to the point where you don't care.
Yeah, you don't need commission.
Yeah, I'll subsidize in that manner.
Yeah.
So like, I promise, like I'll have you guys' back. And again, that's why energy drink. If we do go live in store, especially if the guys are respecting me, one thing I don't want them to do is like be like egotistical towards me. Like, I'm humble, but I also know what I'm like, who I am.
Yeah.
Like, you know your worth.
Yeah. So I don't take that lightly. If they, excuse me, if I see any sort of like hit back from them, I immediately like they're out of my like, I'm no longer like looking at them. I'm very like harsh with that.
Yeah, no, I
Very
think
harsh.
that's rightly justified in the world of business because every single big financial decision for the business, you don't just do it on your own. You consult with all of them. Like, it has to be 12 out of 12. Green light can't be 11 out of 12.
You consider, you consider your
like,
people, not
that
only
is
the
very.
business.
I'll tell you what, man. Like, everything that we've seen in our worlds of business, that is extremely unorthodox.
That's why I said never change.
So with energy drink too, so they're all signature, right? All 4 of them are 4 of the athletes, and we're also working on the next 2. So what's gonna happen is if we do go retail, and we ordered the initial one was like 150K per flavor, and you're looking at 5 cents can, which like straight up being honest, like 5 cents per can is what I'm paying my athletes as a royalty. So that's already
That's a
at
fuck
7.
ton.
That's
Yeah.
7,500 on that purchase. It's not even, we don't even know if it's gonna be successful
Yeah,
or not.
absolutely. Yeah.
Of how much I buy. So we're giving them 5 cents a tub, and then if this somehow blows up, they're still gonna make that for the rest of
Yeah,
life.
like they don't even have to promote it. If it's in store, it's still gonna get 5 cents. Like,
Yeah.
that's huge. I mean, that's a big deal, man.
It's amazing.
I will say that kid Tristan, he's Asian.
Yep.
So whenever he does a flavor,
we're working
do
on
an Asian flavor,
We're working on it.
please, because
working on
Gorilla
it.
Mind couldn't
What?
get it right.
Lychee?
So
We are
What do
working
you
on it.
make? Durian?
I mean, I was gonna say milk tea, but that's not carbonated. Like, that wouldn't be
I've been
right.
seeing milk tea stuff a lot lately.
So I would say like a lychee, like a mango, like that'd be. That's
we give
fucking
them full.
racist.
What? Star fruit?
We do like they have full
You said
creativity.
Asian flavor.
Yeah, that's true. No, that'd be really cool.
They
I
have
think,
full-
like,
Dragon fruit.
whatever they want.
dragon fruit would be so Asian.
Whatever they want.
Yeah,
It's,
no,
like,
I think that would be
completely-
really cool.
But yeah, Tristan is actually the next one, and along with Noah Mason.
I think like what you're doing is amazing, and that's how like Derek and I really operate this business. Like, although like this business is owned by Derek and I, like we consult with everyone on the team with the decisions that we make because ultimately it does trickle down to them.
Yeah.
And like we see it as like, okay, we're feeding all of these mouths, and anything that impacts the business, we have to really consider because if there's an economic downturn or super slow sales from all our clients in the next 4 or 5 months, we still have to keep it afloat.
Yeah.
So we can definitely reside with you. We don't have an exact same business, but we kind of do in a warehousing space. But we love the way you operate, man. It's
Yeah.
This
I mean, we didn't take a salary for the first year and a half just to make sure that we were taking care of our people and
Bringing in
making sure
employees
that they were good and like we were putting money back into the business to grow. So
When they're in it with like I see it like like if you can convert somebody to like go to war with you, that's like the different case.
our people
right?
go
Yeah.
to war for sure.
Yeah.
Like I found you on TikTok, and that's one of my sales methods that I never really share to anyone. But as a fulfillment center, when we are really just looking for clients, right? Like we're growing and we're just looking for, I mean, that's just my mindset. I'm always like trying to find new clients and people that fit our culture of our company. And when I saw you on TikTok Live, I was like, that is a person that I want to work with. Like you were so like you were doing your lives and you were just like, thank you very much. Like, it's just like, it reminded me of like how we do business. We're very grateful in like every single step. And it is cool to see just personally, I know we have a business relationship, but like people aside, like
Yeah.
it is amazing what you've built. It really is.
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about. Like, I don't like it when somebody just settles, right?
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I'm like, I am not going to go out of my way to help you in any way because we started with going lives, right? Kids are going to expect that. You cannot talk to your kids like, something like super assured. Like, we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get upset when they interrogate me. I block them immediately. If you bring up like chasing my conversation, I'm blocking you because we've already gone to that. That's past.
Yeah.
That brand that I used to work with, you bring that up. That's an integration. I don't like that. Other than that, they can ask me my profit, how much I paid,
Yeah.
how much I ate, everything else. I
Yeah.
will like hand over.
You're not here to bullshit about the drama.
Yeah,
it's
it's just- it's unnecessary.
It's what
All-
people like. Yeah.
It's unnecessary. I'm just trying to like, if they have any concern, they're trying to get started. If I can genuinely help in the, I got so many kids from like my live connected with my manufacturer. I have no idea what they're doing right now, but I got them linked, or even wherever it is. It's just like that's a better use of my time. And I go there to if they have a question like, hey, when is this going to be released? If there's any sale coming up, I can't keep a secret. You know what I mean? If they ask me about a vitamin shop, I'll probably just like tell them just like I did it with you.
Yeah.
I swear, I don't know how to keep a secret.
Yeah.
You're just brutally honest and transparent. I mean,
Yeah,
at
like-
the end of the day, like,
Dude,
That's
I
really
like
how we are
way.
too. Like a lot of people, I mean, they probably tell us we're too honest too. Like we tell
I
too
mean,
much.
we've probably lost some potential clients or deals just because we're straight up and honest.
Hey, we don't want to
But
fucking
hey,
work with you.
it's like-
Sorry, you just,
It's
Not that.
if you, I'm sure you guys are,
Yeah.
but and again, you know the answer more than anybody else. But if you're genuinely patient, this is what I mean. I'm like when Vitamin Shop and GNC is ready to actually give me the proper respect, they can come back. My email, they'll know my email. They know how to get back
Yeah.
to me. They know my phone number. They know all of it. So it's like all you're doing right now is just like testing how I'm kind of like going to respond, right? And I'm like, I know like other brands wants to be on like Vitamin Shop. That's like their end goal almost, and that's it. But I'm like, dude, I'm going to get to that 100 million valuation without your help. That's something I would say all the time. This is why athletes, I swear to God, if any of them kind of all of a sudden tries to like show this egotistical situation or like, I made the brand, I don't like that kind of comment at all. I hate it. I'm like, I will get rid of you like this. Right now, I will remove your signature from that. I'll discontinue that, put it on clearance, get rid of it, and act like you never existed.
No, I mean
Well,
that's
I
the
mean,
right
you're-
way to go about it.
It's
Absolutely.
it's a conglomerate, right? You all made the brand. Like it's all. I mean, ultimately you, but everybody, right? It wasn't just one person.
It's just like again, that's the beauty of working with influencers, but at the same time also the nightmare.
Yep.
Also working with
can
influencers.
get
It's-
egotistical.
I'm very picky when
Yeah.
like comes to home team and everything. Now, if somebody wants to code, they want to be sponsored, 100% like, oh, like let's try to give you, see if you can work it. But then like a lot of times they get like super impatient, especially because like they came from bigger brands or whatnot, and they don't get the attention. Like, but I'm like, no, I've had people that like basically been with us since the very beginning. I'm gonna still prioritize those guys over.
Yeah.
You have to genuinely earn it. You have to be patient with Echo.
Right.
If you don't see it as a long-term thing with Echo, then that's fine. Again, you want a salary, I'll give you the salary. Give me some sales. If you don't meet your goal, I'm going to get rid of your salary.
Yeah.
That's it. And then you can decide whether you still want to keep the code with me or not. So I've lost a lot of influencers that like joined. They thought they were going to get that sort of priority. So I brought them in as a salary, paid the respect that they deserve. They didn't hit their goal, removed the salary, and then I'm like, oh, you can decide whether you want to stay with Echo or not. Or if you bring back your revenue up, I'll put the salary back. At the end of the day, I am not going to lose my money on you.
Right.
You have to, again, ultimately, you are an influencer, you know your responsibility. And don't get me wrong, I do lose money here and there on some athletes, but if they're trying, then that's a different case.
Yeah.
If they're trying,
Yeah, you can tell, 100%.
yeah. But there are some guys like, I've had situations where like they think they give Echo this much exposure, so I'll hear from others. And as soon as I hear that, I am like, I deleted him
Turned off,
from myself.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a turn off. Like, nope, that's fine. I thank you for giving me all this clout. I very much appreciate it. But I'm like, I have no idea what they're saying. I don't know that.
Yeah, you don't pay
I
attention.
never watch anybody's story like ever, so they can like go in. I've had guys like will send me a screenshot of like let's say they'll try to like tease me with like other brands product, like, oh, they're taking like this brand's pre-workout. I'm like, that's fine, go ahead, let's do whatever that you
don't care,
want to do. I'm like busy with myself, and there's so much to be busy on my end that like I don't want to waste. But if they're giving the respect, I will make sure that to pay the proper respect. But they have to keep that mentality throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
There cannot be a time if they try to go on that direction, I pull them back, calm down, or we just like fall off completely.
I mean, that's good. I mean, you're kind of you're trying to retrain these people to get out of that instant gratification mindset and actually like earn their respect, earn their commissions, earn it, right? So, which is honestly, I think, a big flaw with a lot of the social media and influencers.
My top sellers are their salary is so little compared to like other brands, but like everything else combined is just together.
Yeah, there. That's a problem in the fitness industry in the sense of like the gratification thing, where why I think your brand is so unique because you came at a time in 2022 that every brand rewarded instant gratification, but like you came in with a different mindset of like, I don't really want that. I don't care about your following. I just care about the conversion rate and the culture that you can bring to our company. A lot of people they used to be like that. A lot of companies used to be like that. But now it's like very dry, cutthroat of like, if you can't produce this in 90 days, you're out, regardless if you tried or not.
We've seen so many, like, especially young LA, for instance, you know, like a dude, like, let's say, pops up, put him on, like, some sort of salary, and then all of a sudden, like, 4 or 5 months later, they're now with that brand. And it's just like, they usually try to, you know, it's just like, it's nice to, again, we love influencers. I think the creators, again, they're fantastic. I love everything I do. But they occasionally, because a lot of these guys haven't done a corporate job, let's say, they are a little bit out of touch with reality.
Not a little bit, completely out of touch.
I 100% agree.
Yes.
When I went to like,
especially some of those who start brands.
It's like, when I talked to my director when I was a data analyst, like a single word that could be wrong could have ended my entire job there.
Right. Yeah.
I worked 5 hours, you know, all those jobs, all those internships to get this job. And I could be fired for saying one wrong word.
Yeah. They don't actually treat it like a job, right? They treat it like, oh, I'm special.
I have this influencer who was like supposed to get a signature flavor of a product, and I texted, you know, he was like, I'm like, all right, dude, give me your list of flavors that we can sample, and we'll work on it. And he never texted back. It was like twice. So, and then he called me like, hey, are we gonna get a new sample? Like, what's happening? So I'm like, hey, check your last text. And I texted him like, hey, what would you want to try? And so I can send over to my manufacturer. They can work on those samples, send it to me, right? Send it to the warehouse. You can come in, taste test, and everything else. And it's like, come on. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these kids, they
and a lot of them are young kids, right? They just don't know what they don't know. And it's like some of it you do have to help them out. And you know.
Yeah, they don't have a responsibility.
You don't want to do that, yeah.
So I use the word kid, unfortunately, like, and I shouldn't. Like, I need to pick better word when I talk. So I was live, and like occasionally I was like, I'll refer to like them as like kids, because I'm like, you know, 27, they're like 22, and again, I there's a clear difference between like the mentality. So on my live, I was like talking to this other athlete, and I was like mentioning like these kids, and he didn't like the word kid. Got super offended, and I was like,
I think like the word kid is associated with, like you say, mentality and mindset.
Yeah.
Like age is just a number. But there could be someone who's in their 30s that is completely out of touch with reality, and they just don't have a sense of business or just not understand communication. And I'd probably refer to them as a kid. Sometimes I do feel bad. Hey, this guy's like 29, 28. Like, I can't call him a kid. He's only a few years younger than me. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, well, the knowledge and just the mindset is completely like more than 10 years of a difference. But that's where like it sometimes gets kind of like blurry in the sense of like you don't want to overstep, like you're saying, like you don't want to offend people, but at the end of the day, who gives a fuck?
I just spit it out. It's just like, I'm not as well trained as well spoken. Like you guys, I feel like you guys think through before you say something.
No, I don't. I just say it. I say what's on my mind.
I am so unfiltered, man. I like.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty unfiltered.
It's like I wish I was like a little bit more well trained and kind of think and speak less.
Well, I think you're in a position to not have to give a fuck, right? Like I really not in the sense
I think
of like
it's more like you, it's more of like time, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't have time to like think
Yeah.
and worry about these things. So this is what it is.
I'll record a video and without even watching, kind of like the subtitle, I'll post
Just
it.
fucking
Yeah.
upload it.
So many times, and then I hear like I'll find out the audio was like not recording at all. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, man.
No,
When
no,
you get
I
to that
mean,
level, man, your mind is so everywhere too.
seems
you
like
got so
the-
much on your mind.
Whatever God you believe in has rewarded you for all of your hard work. I listened to this Joe Rogan podcast, and it was he came up with this theory that no matter what God you believe in, that there was no God in the past. That God is actually the universe. That everything you're doing in life right now, there's a reason why people are successful. Like the successful people have a proven track record. And the people who are not successful have a proven track record. And it's like God's way of rewarding you every step of the way. Like your data analyst job, the portfolio, the ex-girlfriend, like everything is a stepping stone in life, and it just tests you because you have two paths in life, right? You can go this way or you can go that way. And that way will lead one way and the other way and lead the other way. I think like everything that you've done, obviously, has led you down the right path because these are the risks that you took, like the data analyst job, taking out your life savings, like the TikTok live, the guy who ticked you off with the supplements, like it's just everything has got you to this point. But and then we also wouldn't be sitting here, if we had never, if you had never taken.
But ultimately, it's like you didn't stop, right? If
you didn't have
work
that ex-girlfriend.
relentlessly, you're not complacent. Yeah.
If you didn't have that ex-girlfriend, we'd have probably never met.
No, exactly. I like shit, legitimately. There's so many times when life could have been on a completely different path.
Yeah. I think that's everybody.
Somehow it's like here, and I was so how I told you like my big family, right? And I knew at some point like again we're in America already, so they expect some sort of help from us. And as a data analyst salary, I could not help in any shape or form because like I was barely getting like $7,000 to $8,000 a month saving in my bank. That was all I could save after like and there's no way I could like what happened was like right before they were actually starting to get their visa, because like I said, there was like waiting 17 years, right? So when they got their visa, all happened together. We all knew it's gonna happen. We just didn't know when the paperwork's all gonna be all finalized and the visa. And because as soon as they get visa, you have to buy a ticket, which is very expensive to get from Bangladesh. And all of a sudden, Ekko was super successful to the point where like all the plane ticket alone was like $25,000 to get married to New Zealand, because they have their kids. So my brother has now wife. Wife came in. He has 2 kids. The kids came in. The other brother, their entire family came in.
So
sister,
you paid for all of that.
all those tickets, yeah. But
No one can ever say you're a shitty person ever.
it's again. So like again, my brother too. Like he worked to the point where like he couldn't go to college or high school even because he took the hit for the family, right? And I was able to buy him like he likes big SUV. He likes big car.
Oh, that's the one that drove the Yukon that pulled up next to us?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of people who breed success or just, it falls into their lap as they work for it.
Yep.
They change, right? Or just, become this shittier person. But like, you're the person that very much recognizes, hey, my older brother sacrificed for me. My sister raised me.
Yeah.
They have all these kids. It's my obligation. Like, not a lot of people think like that, man. And that honestly, it trickles onto your business. Because everything that you're doing, it seems like you're doing the same thing for your other family.
Yep.
So it's
I just have like too many families, man.
Yeah, you got a big ass family, man. That's a
And
big
like
family
athletes
photo.
family,
Yeah, yeah.
and then, like my
You
actual.
built all the bedrooms in that new warehouse now. Yeah.
No, I'm like it's crazy, man. I was talking about like you were saying like is my relationship as close to as everyone? So there's one of my brother, unfortunately, he has a mentality where like I was trying to get them involved with Ekko, but one of his mentality was like, what do I get from it, right? So I hate it, and I don't have any sort of involvement with him. He's in New Jersey. I don't want to bring him in. I don't like that comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like,
What's in it for me? Yeah.
yeah. So this brother was like, he saw I needed help. He came in without any sort of I still don't know like how much to pay him. Like whenever he has bills, he's like, he's like every month I'm kind of like sending whatever kind of like I can send him.
Yeah, so it pays for the bills.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And like so making sure all of his other payments is done. We don't have a set salary or anything. You know what I mean? So I did not like my older brother saying that, or like how much, what is he gonna be getting out of it when he comes to Texas? I'm like, that is not how. Again, I'm working to literally get every one of my family out of there, right? My sister lives in that's like super old, the one that took care of me in Bangladesh. She lives in my house that I own in New Jersey. We didn't sell it so that they can, at least have a house where they don't have to pay rent. And her husband is working with me, and also like, I have her daughter working in our customer service. So like the word, like, what am I going to get out of it? I was like, I could not. I'm like, nope.
Yeah. Would you say the majority of your family or your business employees are your family members? Like, so is it pretty
No,
heavily
majority are
family-ran?
mainly like athletes slash others, but
So
then
extended family.
It's-
But
it's
you do have a
definitely
lot of family members that are actually helping you
involved.
with your business. That's awesome, man.
that will be getting in the way of, like, I think, selling the company.
Right.
Because I think when you have like a lot of family members, it
Yeah.
becomes apparently hard to sell. I think they also like value it far significantly less than like non-family.
Having professionals or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
so
sense.
that's
So,
like-
so you talked about we talked about where Echo is. We talked about future with the energy drinks and everything. What are some other goals that you have for the business or yourself?
I want to just like increase the revenue path where like if one is kind of like be able to offset, right? So that's why I started the energy drink. I don't know for sure what the next goal is gonna be. Maybe like the other guy can like make some other move. He can do something, and
Yeah.
then like get to one of my other athletes. and
Yeah.
I'll know my next mission.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh, I guess we missed it. I mean, but growing Echo clothing is a big goal too, right?
That's
Yeah.
genuinely. I want to hit like 7 to 8 mil. That's like one of my goal right now this year. So like I'm trying to like I'm still struggling to keep my products in stock, and then there's like some stock that are on heavy hitters. So I'm trying to find out. This is why I like the socks. I'm trying to go after more of this like essentials where like people don't think like, again, like I said, the underwear. Like we don't think about buying underwear or just going to the Marshall picking up like a basic one. But if I can change their mind into buying a little bit more premium, let's say pay $5 to $10 extra, but then they get this like, because we use underwear for like years after years, but then like, it's comfort for years after years. If I can like convince them, it could all like with the beaters, people gave us so much hate when they found out it's gonna be like $30 plus for 3-pack. I was getting so much hate, and then all of a sudden people wore it, they got it, they're like, holy crap, this is 100% the best beater I've ever worn. And changed our clothing. We actually started to be profitable because of that SKU. So I'm just trying to find like
Wait till
unique
they get
SKU.
the oversized tee.
Yeah.
Wait till they get that one.
It's just like we know for a fact some people are going to give it a shot, and our athletes, if we can just make them fall in love with it because of the quality, rather than like, hey, like, look, I'm paying you this much salary, I want you to like say good things about this. I don't want that.
Do you is your ultimate goal to sell the business? Like, do you want to exit one
Not
day, or
really. I really do want to set my family as much as I can. Like, there's one of my brother-in-law who's like extremely honest. Unfortunately, he works at a gas station and like makes a couple bucks an hour. And I'm trying to see, I need to have a house here for them to like come in. Otherwise, it's a risk. My dad doesn't want to come in, move to Texas unless I have a house, not rent. He doesn't want me to like rent it because he can't trust. What if Echo goes out of business today? What happens then? He just like left over there.
right?
So that's what I'm working on right now to see if I can like maybe buy some smaller house around Missouri City. That's where the warehouse is. Then I can like let them come in. I'll figure something out, some sort of role. Right now, what we're doing is we're going heavily on a lot of the hourly guys are also creating contents. So like I have a guy that comes in, records a whole bunch of videos, edits it, downloads it on, uploads it on Drive, and I'm just uploading as I go. So when I go to Austin for almost 5 days, I believe, I will have contents like just to push out on a regular basis, and then whatever I post from my phone, I'm good. It's almost like an autopilot at this point. So the thought process is with these guys, I do want to I can't rest until I get all of my family from New Jersey to here, where I can at least like see if they're doing well. Right now, like I have no idea who's their employee. When I was working in Subway, the owner was Bengali, so that's how I got the job, because he was another Bengali guy. But he used to curse at me with super aggressive words, and I hated that. And I don't want that for my family members, because they got a job at another Bengali guy, and all of a sudden he's like abusing them in that, at least like verbally.
Yeah.
And I can't rest, because I lived that life. I cannot rest until like I can have a visual that they're good, that at least on my hand, I'm good.
Do you feel like it's a burden at all, having the pressure of like? I mean, I guess you're kind of putting that on upon yourself, right? Do you feel like it is?
It is a burden, because like if a lot of times they do, sometimes like they take advantage a little bit. It's just like it's burdening in the sense where like I really hope they would realize like this is a huge opportunity because
It's also a risk for you.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a huge risk for you, and
not everybody, like Daniel said, not everybody does that.
and like ultimately, like a lot. What I mean by risk is like you're taking a lot of your profits, and you're instead of ordering new inventory that can double or triple that earning, you're giving it towards your family to make sure they're good. I mean, it's again like it's a big deal. It really is, because you hear this a lot in like celebrity culture, like where a lot of the families will, when one succeeds, they kind of say, or like the people who hit the lottery. Well, hey, what about me?
NFL,
What about
or
me?
NFL,
or
yeah, it's
NFL.
like,
Like,
hey,
remember that
oh.
one time? Like, it goes into so many different complicated situations, but it doesn't seem like it's stopping you because that's your family. So you see it as your obligation.
One thing I told them is like I need to make sure the business is running and growing.
Right.
So I never want to be at a place where I can't afford a PO because I don't have cash. Then I know, okay, I need to do something different. I would never buy the Lamborghini or lease it if I didn't have the cash flow to fund my next couple months projects. So as soon as like we're good with like our samples and everything, I'm like we're good. Need to make sure as soon as you guys are ready for the down payment, we pay it right away. We're not gonna like I do not want my business to halt off because I can't pay my PO. That is like then I have to like restructure everything.
Yeah, you always put the business first, regardless of who you're helping or what you're buying. It's like business always comes first.
So with my athletes too, it's like occasionally, they're like, hey, we're a couple of them actually brought up is like they wanted to raise, especially because they were doing such a good sales on TikTok Shop. I went in, I was like, look, so we net profit at 12 to 15%. That means every $100,000 in revenue that you bring me in, I profit, let's say the best case scenario, $15,000. Now you let me know how much you're getting paid, you know your salary, and let me know how much of that should be shared with you as the athlete, and how much should it be shared for the growth of the business, and how much of it should be going to me as the owner, so distribution to me. And it's something like, I'm very straightforward in that manner. Again, obviously, here and there I'll lose money just to, like try out the concept at least. But if it's not working, then I'll just like as soon as my contract is done, we pull out, we call out, we take our loss, we move on. But again, I try to be as open as I can. Like, look, this is my net profit.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I mean,
It's working for you so far, right?
It works, but then a lot of people will try and take advantage. But then at the end of the day, he's like, no, I'm going to cut them out.
Yeah.
Which is good too, right? Like you have no second doubts about cutting someone out when
You're very, I mean, you're both sides of the spectrum, right? You're very empathetic and willing to work with people, but you're also cutthroat if you need to be.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know, like in the world of business, you have to be strong in that sense.
again, it's like I know the more they can get involved with me, I know for a fact I can offer far greater than what that individual can offer Ekko.
Absolutely.
Ekko is bigger than me. Ekko is bigger than one athlete.
One athlete,
That's
yeah.
why
dude, I mean, it's you. Ekko is going to be one of TikTok Shop's premier brands. Like that's no small fucking feat, dude. That is insane.
we talk to like TikTok Shop every week now, and they're
Tell them
getting
to stop
better at-
fucking holding your money.
Like,
This is a
it's
new.
like-
This
like,
is a new
that's the thing.
concept. TikTok Shop is a new concept.
I don't want to run my business where like I'm like my business is in trouble because of a couple $100,000.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like they're like still holding like $700,000, but I'm good because like I have everything else.
I know, but it's crazy because like you talk to them on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and they're still holding your money. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you guys are talking to me every single day.
You should be established.
see my
enough by
sales
now.
every
yeah,
single
you
day.
should
Why are
be
you still
established by
holding-
now.
You know.
That's the thing, man. I'm like again, I have like $300,000 car coming in. And I'm just like, I'll get my money whenever I get it. And like they delayed it for another week. I'm like, all right, I'll get it when I get it.
Yeah.
But again, it's just I do run a lean margin business, but again, we definitely need to like leave some sort of space for us to like fall back on. So like I usually do go with like a 20% margin of error. Even with 20% of margin of error, we should be hitting 25 mil this year. If I don't, then I need to completely redesign. Like I'm doing something wrong. I need to find the core issue.
That's amazing. Yeah.
You know, those like I forgot what it is. I used to practice that in my data analyst job. So you try to find the issue that could be solved, and that solves that takes the least amount of time, but solves the most quantity of issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like if there's something that's going to require you so much work to fix very minimal of the overall issue, why would you waste time in that?
Is that what Lean Six Sigma is?
I know it's like a 4-quadrant little thing. So you try to like identify the easy to solve issues.
Yeah.
The next one, and then you go
yeah.
in a little circle. And
I've seen that in like a business class.
yeah, it's just like
You ain't take no business class.
Hell yeah, I did. I used to want to be a business major, but then I was like, MIS fucking blows. So then I left.
I honestly school helped quite a bit. Like legitimately,
For
all of
what you're
my-
doing, yeah. Like, I mean, with what you're
The more
doing,
you fuck
everything's
around, the
great
more
data.
you find out.
Yeah. it's not because again, at the end of the day, Echo is bigger than me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know for a fact, Echo succeeded so much in the sense where like I sacrificed so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I held the meetings where like I flew in my athletes after the first launch, and it cost them $25,000. Like, pay for their flight, pay for the 3 meals, their make sure they have a car, make sure that they're in the hotel and everything else, and then like on the way back to the Uber cost, right?
Yeah, that's. I
Like-
mean, this is a family, man. You
Yeah.
really, not a lot of people can truly say that they treat everyone in the company as a family, but I think you really have done that. You know.
Yeah, and it's all coming full circle for you, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
It was
So,
interesting.
do you ever sit down by yourself and think about everything you've accomplished, and just be like, "Wow, this is crazy!" Like 2 years from making subs to making energy drinks.
I need to at some point like meditate and like think through, but so much is happening, like I
Yeah.
can't.
he
really
doesn't have
think.
time to think, bro.
Don't have time to
I
meditate,
actually
bro.
don't. It's like because what's gonna happen is like every week my account is now doing almost like a per month. It's more than $1 million going in and out, right? Like I literally just sent a wire for like $400,000 to my manufacturer, then another $500,000 coming out for the energy drink in like the next 2 weeks, right? We already submitted the PO, just have to like send over the wire. So like so much of that kind of things are happening that I can't really like sit down and just like relax like that. Not yet. But good thing is Echo is becoming this like autopilot mode where I don't have to go to the warehouse anymore. My brother and Noah, they're killing it. They're absolutely taking care of everything. They moved the entire warehouse from the old one to the new one within a day, and only costed us $2,000.
That's crazy.
This one dude came in and gave us a quote of like $18,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, where did you come up with that number?
Yeah, you don't have racking or anything, so it's like, yeah.
Oh, and the guys like all got it all together. Got a bunch of like locals. They had their own semis.
He's a hustler.
Yeah.
Nice.
we
Yeah,
got
Noah's a
all
hustler,
in.
yeah.
We started packing the same day.
It's awesome.
Pause.
Yeah.
Like everything went in. We set it up, make sure the works and everything was good.
Yeah.
They were packing the orders while we were getting the other
Yeah.
products in. Our operation cannot slow down.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've been there with our move.
Yeah.
I think that's a good. Good space to cross the finish line and wrap it up. We definitely appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
It's been amazing to watch what little part of your journey we've experienced, and even see beyond that. And it's really cool. Hopefully, it's inspiring to anybody who's watching and listening to your story. Just honestly, just being truthful, open, transparent, and relentlessly working towards your vision. And I think that's all it takes to be an
We're glad to
entrepreneur.
be a part of the vision too, man.
Of
Really.
course, I'm
Yeah.
so excited.
Yeah. So I got to do my wrap up. I gotta do it.
We don't have this memorized.
We don't have anything.
No.
And we say that every time too.
Yeah. Thank you to the listeners at home for tuning in. Together, we will sprint towards a purpose-driven future, celebrating the power of business, entrepreneurship, and the transformative impact that it can create.